Hey, what's going on, guys? Patrick O'Driscoll, co-founder, CEO here at TVG, bringing you guys another partner interview with our client Chandler of Nitrogen Nutrition. This is a great conversation with Chandler walking through his experience working with us on the email side for his brand. And if you're interested in learning more about how it could potentially help you, I'll leave a link down below to book a free discovery call where we'll actually audit your brand and figure out if there's any rooms, any gaps for improvement to further scale your brand. So click down below if you're interested in that. But without further ado, let's jump into this partner interview. So Chandler, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Let's start with just like an opening up about your brand, what what you sell, what your products are all about, and how that process has been going.
Yeah. So basically, what the products, the products we're going to be selling, it's a mixture of, we have a health line and then we have a performance line. So started with technically like a rebrand, but actually just starting over to build something even bigger. We started with performance and then it trickled down to health because the categories, we're searching for is, not searching, but we're after more so like the bodybuilding world, and then not just bodybuilding, people that make this a lifestyle, so that's what we did. And, how I formulated things and how I wanted to target certain people, we have that pretty dialed in. Yeah. So, but other than that, it's a pretty big lineup to come out at once. I don't think many people have done that, but hey, that's what I wanted to do is, from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. Give a breakdown of like the product line. Cause you're moving aggressive, big product line. Like what specific products are you selling? What are your main drivers, you think, when you launch this thing very shortly?
Yeah. So I think the main drivers are going to be our pre-workouts, our isolates, our pumps. And then I honestly think once that's performance driven and we have plenty of others for performance, but also I think in the health lineup, it's going to be like our test and probably our test booster and also our, probably our multivitamin.
Yeah. Yeah. Beyond going a lot bigger with this whole launch and everything, because I know you had a brand previously. Now you're kind of launching this new brand and going full throttle. Like what are those main learnings or main things you're trying to implement with this brand to, guarantee its success?
So, just like the difference, for example, from the first brand to this brand was, okay, I just did like a complete breakdown. What I did was I seen like, okay, this is what was happening in the first brand versus how I wanted this brand to go. The first brand was, let's just say it was a learning curve. Yeah. I knew I wanted to be a supplement company owner, but it was a learning curve. And I was like, okay, we could take this, we can make this better, And so it wasn't just formulations because, the formulations was great, but it was also, let's just take up a complete different notch. Let's take this to a high level that I know it can be. And, so what just besides, redoing the whole lineup, but also making sure I had the right connections too within it. Yeah. And, for example, being brought on with, for you, for example, that was another big thing with the last brand where we struggled versus, knowing, hey, this is who we need to be connecting with. This is what we need to be doing. That was very important for me. And so bringing you guys on and then like a couple others for the, for other roles was very important to like our brand success and how we're going to get this out there. Granted, also I think it has to do with, not necessarily formulation, but also like the product's tasting. I know the formulas, I know they're going to be effective, but also I wanted to make sure, hey, I've tried formulas in the past that are insanely built, but do they taste great? No, they don't. Yeah. That's what I wanted to make sure we were separated with, that ours, they taste phenomenal. So.
Yeah. Love it. What would you give? Like, what's some advice you'd give to someone that maybe was in your shoes a year or two ago? You mentioned that brand was a learning curve, learning experience. Like, what are some, when you're developing a product line, especially a product line as broad as yours, what would you recommend to someone that's maybe just starting about thinking your brand? It could be supplements, could be any brand, any product-based line. What are your main learnings that you've learned over the last year, and what advice would you give someone that's trying to come out with a product line?
Yeah, so when coming out with a product line and learning, do as much homework as possible. You know, you need to go in, you need to understand formulations, you need to understand how the products work, you need to understand, how does the consumer think, and then just, dive into others' formulas, see if you can understand what they're doing. And then after that, once you have that figured out, because in my opinion, that is pretty, that is a big driver for the brand is you just don't want to put something together and then take it to market and hope people like it, or you need to make sure like, hey, this is dialed in. I know my product. I could sell the product to myself. And if you could sell to yourself, then I think you could sell to the world.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a big driver, and to really know your product. And then after that, say, okay, I know my product. How do I take it about, how do I get it out there? And then not just that, but make the right steps to say, okay, we could take this product and we could scale this product. These products are going to work. So that's something that I would give, advice to another person that's wanting to get in this. But first of all, do your homework, make sure you're with, you find yourself a great manufacturer, make connections, and then, it's going to take time, but great things take time. Don't ever rush into this and hope that the long game is going to work out. No, make sure that like I said, you're taking time, you're doing all the necessary steps to grow, and everything is calculated out. And I think, if you can do that and you can calculate that, have a great strategy going in, you're going to be golden.
Yeah, love that. And you kind of hit on it before, but I think what you've done a great job is you know what you're really good at, and then you've looked to experts in different areas to really help you on the process. I know we originally got connected through Ike and his team. What would you say has been like why did you do that? Like, why did you reach out to, our team or other teams to help you grow and launch this thing?
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's a big one for me. So I knew when it comes to building the product, I sat there, studied, learned as much as possible, watched videos, read as much as I can on ingredients. And then I said, okay, I can build awesome formulas in my opinion, but I don't want to be considered a little brand. I love this industry so much that I just didn't have the heart to go into it and be like, this is what I can offer. No, I want to be sure like, hey, this is what I can offer. This is the lineup. It's big, but it's worth it, And so then, reaching out to House of Greatness, for example, that was just like, to explain it, like, that was just like, I seen what they could do. I watched all their stuff. I found them on YouTube. I listened to them. I was like, man, I'm just going to shoot my shot with them and see if it works. And it did. I reached out, set up a meeting with them. And from right then and there, like, these are the people I want to work with, because in my opinion, there were, in my book, they're winners, and winners win. And I know with Ike, for example, he's got great connections, and it was such a blessing, him allowing me to, connect me to people like you, connect me to people like Santiago, to give, connect me with my manufacturer, and then to build all those connections within, like, that was a extreme blessing. And then having Rojas, everything turned out amazing. The details just from like the first brand to this brand, second to none and hard to beat. And when showing people, jaws drop. I mean, so that was a massive, what I was looking for, because I seen what he created. I seen, who he works for and in the past, and everybody's winning. So why not, see, hey, if they can do it, and, and he's willing to bring me on, hey, hats off to him. And, I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So just to preface that for anyone that might be watching this. So Ike and House of Greatness, they do branding, they do consulting on bringing your product to market, helping with the whole manufacturing process. And you got connected with like designers and everything through that process. And that's how we originally got connected, because, they work with a lot of brands we work with, and us at TVG obviously focus on the digital marketing side. let's talk, because we were in discussions for a while. I was like just trying to figure out where you're at and just not trying to jump the bullet on when we can actually start to help you. And as soon as you're like, all right, finally starting to get things rolling, now's a better time. And we've been working with you on the email side. Maybe give a walk through your experience working with us, what you've liked through the process of, everything from day one, which is obviously ideation, to building everything on the email side so that when we are ready to launch, those things will be crushing it.
Oh, dude, it's been phenomenal working with you guys. Like when we first said, okay, we're going to get into it. Actually, let me just take a step back. When we first met, and then when you and I first met, and then just us talking, and then you sending me stuff and me seeing stuff, I'm like, oh man, like these are the people, like right here, like, and then once we fast forwarded to where we are now, I was like, this is legitimately what I prayed for. Mm-hmm. Like, to be in this position, and then having people like you and your team, oh, phenomenal. Filling everything out, and then the form out, and then, you guys having feedback, and then me giving you guys feedback, second to none, because one, communication, in my opinion, is key to success. The communication here is second to none. I'll get messages. I'm like, oh, dude. So I'll go in and look, and I'm like, all right, this is awesome. This is fire. And then like, they'll send me something else, and I get to go in, and I get to, I get control of it. That's the big thing. I get control, but at the same time, the information I'm giving you guys, it's hard to say, change this, change that, because it's been spot on. You guys have nailed everything on the head so far, and just like the email flows, those are perfectly built out, and how they have the renders in there, and then the thank yous. That everything is spot on. It's clean. It looks professional. It's just like, in my opinion, like I've told everybody, that's what's going to raise me to another level, is working with you guys, and just how everything can be done like that. It's just so fast. And then, weekly updates. Perfect. That's what I want, so that, in my opinion, you guys, the work's been phenomenal, and I truly appreciate it, all of it. And then just knowing like, okay, this is where we're starting, and having this, I can't wait to see us in a couple months, or especially when we launch, or then after that, when we're building more with you guys. Like, I think this is going to be, there's levels to this game. In my opinion, you guys have taken me from here to here, just like that. So,
yeah. So maybe like walk me through, because obviously, startup brand, you're looking at ways to invest cash, and ways to obviously get things moving here. Like, was there any hesitancies that you had, working with a team like us before? And if so, like, how did that overcome? And obviously, it's great to hear you've had a good experience. I'm glad to hear that. So I hope it's all been worth it so far. But maybe like, what was your mentality like before everything, and then making that leap to like, all right, I'm going to take this to the next level, because that's exactly like you're doing it. You're not just starting a brand. You're not just like this bigger brand. You're like, I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to work with the right experts. I'm going to get the right things played out. I'm going to have like the A team, be a part of a team of winners. How is that mentality shift from like discovery phase of learning about us to actually investing into, our work?
It was, well, at the very beginning, with the old brand, we had nightmares. Like, it was rough a little bit. And then, Ike introducing us, I don't even go against his word, because I know when he introduces me to somebody, they're the real deal. So how could, I knew right then and there, hey, let's see what they're about. Let's see where this can lead to, and let's just go from there. And that's exactly what happened. You showed me who you work with. You showed me different templates of other work you've done. Yeah. Not only that, I would constantly get your emails, and I would skim through them. I'd read them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I got to read this one. Or I'd pay attention to YouTube, or I'd pay attention to your Instagram. So then as we got closer to like, okay, these products are getting ready to come in, they're moving. We are moving pretty quick now. Yeah. We knew like, okay, in order to be successful, we need to have the right people, behind us. And then after that, we're like, yeah, we're going to bring on Patrick and his team because I've seen the work. I've read what he's posted. Who else would do that? I fully believe in you guys' capabilities and, and taking us to that next level. So without a doubt, there wasn't much hesitation because I knew, okay, this is who Ike's going to put me with.
Yeah.
Once that was said and done, I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah, no, I love that. And in terms of like, I'm just curious, in the previous brand, did you have any past experience with agencies? Because I usually talk to a lot of people that work with agencies and stuff. They have like a bad taste in their mouth. Maybe they had a really bad experience. Like, have you ever had a bad experience with like agencies, freelancers, or is this your first kind of jump into it and you're immediately working with, I would assume, solid people?
So, I mean, so the first people we worked with, they were good.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was nothing against them. They did what they could for me. We moved on. And then as we moved on, we said, okay, we need to do something. We need to do something quick.
Yeah.
We found another ad agency and oh boy, they took us for a lot of money, a lot of lies, and a lot of frustration after that. Yeah. And that made it very hard to be like, okay, who do we even go with? What do we even do? What's the right direction to even turn? And, so after them, the second people were a nightmare. I mean, they put out they put me at jeopardy, to be honest, because they posted a lot of stuff that wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And we were like, yo, what are you doing? Like, this isn't right. You guys said you understood us, and I tried to make things clear, and apparently you don't. So you just try to sell me, and all you're doing is lying. So we need to like leave. And they came back at us very, very harsh.
Interesting.
And we're going to bring lawyers involved.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh boy.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah. So we're like, listen, we just want to leave. That's it. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I didn't know, I think I knew that a little bit. I didn't know to what extent, you had those relationships before, but hopefully you felt that through our process. And what I try to do is like meet brands where they're at. And like I remember in our conversations, you're like, all right, what is it actually going to take? You have these goals to sell through product, and I'm going to be, especially with us having a lot of experience in the supplement space, it's like, I'm going to show you like realistically what it's going to take, and we're going to like slowly chip away at it instead of just saying, because there's a lot of agencies out there, people will be like, yeah, just spend 20K, like just give me this, like just pay us, we'll scale it to the moon. The big thing that I always try to do is like, look at your numbers, look at our brands that we actually work with, and be like, let's craft a plan, because I'm in this to work with you for the goal is like scale you up and work with you for months and years, and not just a short-term flash in the pan, scale you for a couple months. So that's always my intention with any brand that we bring on, is like first those introductory conversations. Let's just figure out what needs to be done. That's why we started with you on the email, obviously, and not try to jump into anything too fast. Let's get those foundations in place. And then, beyond this, once we're ready to start scaling, we'll of course have those conversations, figure out what makes the most sense. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people that I speak to have made bad taste in their mouth from agency relationships. Is there anything like, I know you've already spoke highly of us, and I appreciate that, but like anything specific, like things that you've noticed from like working with us versus other service providers in the past?
Yeah, night and day. I noticed differences. I noticed that one, you understand the industry. You understand also my wants and needs. You guys are also, put it like this. In this industry, in my opinion, I think, you're younger. Mm-hmm. You understand the younger people. So that definitely drives, me to trust you even more. And then, it was just like, and then not just that, but it's also like, you understand me, you understand where I'm coming from. You understand that you like how I want to scale things and move things. Yeah. And that's a big difference versus just somebody just wanting to sell, hey, we could do this XYZ, give me all this money. And then it turns out it's nothing. And then there you are just sitting there like thinking, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's experience I hear like way too often. So that's what a big thing we try to do when we're engaging with brands, like make sure like expectations have to be aligned, because if we're, blowing smoke up your ass, say, oh, we'll do like all these crazy things, and then come month one, we're not living up to those expectations. So it's a really big priority for us. And you spoke on communication and everything. Yeah, man, no, I appreciate all the kind words and really kind of looking forward. I know we're on the cusp of really scaling things up and starting to get some movement, getting products finally in customers' hands. What's your, I know you have some big goals short term, but like 2025, like what's nitrogen going to look like in the next 6 to 12 months?
Nitrogen in the next 6 to 12 months.
What's your big goals?
Big goals? One word. I could put it in one word and it's winning. But
yeah,
no, definitely get it out there to the people, get the products moving. We want to see, products selling, products moving, people, having that product in their hand and experiencing it. I think that's a big thing for me. Because I firmly believe once these products are in the consumer's hands, they're going to tell night and day difference, and they're going to tell that we actually care. And that's also not just the product, but also like scaling the products to increasing to more flavors, increasing our order quantities. I think we're going to see, a bunch of growth in 2025, and then in 2026, it's just going to continue to scale and scale, to higher demand, and definitely, like I said, not just improve, increase flavors, but also bring out new products.
Yeah, love it. Well, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time today. This has been awesome to hear your experience, and look forward to continue working with you. And where can people check out you, your brand? Where's the best way they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Burner540, or you can check out the Nitrogen Nutri. It's Nitrogen_Nutri on Facebook, or actually on Instagram, and the Nitrogen Nutrition on Facebook. Prepare for we got some things in the works that we're excited to get out there. So once that gets out there, I think the hype is real. The products are going to be legit with second to none labeling, and then also the emails. Prepare for those as well.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, check that out. It's been a pleasure. So
thank you, bro. Awesome.